56-year-old David Thompson stood at Los Angeles International Airport, clutching a one-way ticket to Manila, Philippines. He had just emptied his bank account, sold his house, and quit his job at a major accounting firm where he had worked for 28 years. His friends thought he had lost his mind, but David knew that if he didn't leave, he would suffocate completely in this monotonous, meaningless existence. David had never married, not because he didn't want a family, but because he had always put work first. One relationship after another had broken down due to his workaholic tendencies, until he found himself in his 50s, alone, with nothing but numbers in his bank account. 2 months ago, his last girlfriend Sarah had left him, and her final words still echoed in his ears. "David, you live like a machine, without soul, without passion. I can't do this anymore." That night, sitting in his cold apartment, David suddenly realized Sarah was right. His life was work, home, sleep, repeat. He had no real friends, no hobbies, no passion. He decided it was time for a complete change. When the plane landed in Manila, David felt a strange sense of liberation. The tropical air, the cacophonous sounds, the chaotic yet vibrant streets. Everything was in stark contrast to the coldness of Los Angeles. He had no specific plan, just wanted to find a quiet place to rethink his life. David rented a car and began driving south, with no destination in mind. 3 days later, he reached a remote province called Palawan. Here were pristine beaches, dense jungles, and friendly locals. He stopped in a small fishing village, deeply attracted by its tranquility and beauty. At the village's only small inn, David met the proprietress Maria, a widow in her 40s. She had 5 daughters, 28-year-old Carmen, 26-year-old Anna, 24-year-old Isabella, 22-year-old Sophia, and 20-year-old Gabriella. Their father had died in a fishing boat accident several years ago, leaving the family struggling to make ends meet. Initially, David only intended to stay for a few days, but he was quickly moved by the warmth of this family. Despite their difficult circumstances, the 5 sisters supported each other and always wore smiles. They showed genuine curiosity and kindness toward David, this stranger from America. Carmen was the eldest daughter, bearing the responsibility of caring for her mother and sisters. She was an elementary school teacher with a meager income, but a heart full of love. Anna worked at the village clinic, and although she only had a nurse's aide qualification, she possessed natural medical talent. Isabella was an artist who created beautiful handicrafts using local materials. Sophia was studying law through correspondence courses, dreaming of one day providing legal aid to impoverished villagers. The youngest, Gabriella, was still in college studying agricultural science, hoping to help the village develop sustainable agriculture. David had originally planned to stay only a week, but 1 week became a month, and 1 month became 3 months. He began helping the family, using his accounting knowledge to assist villagers with financial management, teaching them bookkeeping and budget planning. He also used his savings to help improve the village's infrastructure, building a new well and a small bridge. During this process, David found himself deeply attracted to these 5 sisters, not because of their beauty, although they were indeed beautiful, but because of their kindness, resilience, and love for life. Each had a unique personality and dreams, but they stood united, like a perfect team. What surprised David even more was that the 5 sisters seemed to have developed feelings for him as well. They told him that his arrival had brought hope and stability to the family. They had never met such a kind, responsible man. One evening, by a bonfire on the beach, Maria said to David, "I can see that my daughters have all fallen in love with you." In our culture, this situation is not uncommon. In some remote areas, especially when life is difficult, a good man can marry several sisters, ensuring family unity and prosperity. David was initially shocked. In America, such an arrangement was unthinkable, but as time passed, he began to understand the logic within this cultural context. These 5 sisters had grown up together. There was no jealousy or competition between them, only deep sisterly bonds. If they married different men separately, they might be forced to separate, but if they married the same person, they could stay together forever. After months of deep consideration, David made the most important decision of his life. He proposed to all 5 sisters, and they all gladly accepted. The local priest initially refused to perform the ceremony, but after persuasion from the villagers, he finally agreed to this special arrangement. The wedding was held on the beach, with the entire village attending. David wore a traditional Filipino barong Tagalog shirt, and the 5 brides wore beautiful native costumes. The ceremony blended Catholic traditions with local customs, both solemn and joyful. After the wedding, David used his savings to buy land and build a large house. The house had 5 bedrooms, with each wife having her own private space, while featuring spacious common areas for the whole family to gather. David established a fair rotation system, ensuring he had equal time with each wife. Initially, this living arrangement faced challenges. David needed to learn how to balance 5 different personalities and needs. But to his surprise, the level of cooperation among the 5 sisters exceeded his expectations. They naturally divided responsibilities. Carmen handled overall family management. Anna took care of health issues. Isabella was responsible for decorating and beautifying the home. Sophia dealt with legal and official documents, and Gabriella managed the family garden and agricultural projects. A year later, Carmen became pregnant. This news filled the entire family with joy. David was finally going to become a father, a happiness he had never imagined. The other 4 wives were all happy for their sister, and they began preparing for the coming child. Over the following years, all 5 wives had children. David became the father of 8 children, 5 sons and 3 daughters. Each child had both Filipino and American heritage, growing up in an environment full of love and cultural diversity. David discovered that fatherhood was more fulfilling than he had imagined. Although he became a father in his 50s, he had enough life experience and patience to guide these children. He taught them English and mathematics, while his wives taught them Tagalog and local traditions. The children thrived under the nourishment of both cultures. This large family also brought positive impact to the local community. David used his business knowledge to help villagers develop small enterprises, improving the economic level of the entire region. He established a small school, allowing more children to receive education. He also helped establish a medical center, improving villagers' health conditions. 5 years later, David's family had completely integrated into the local community. He learned to speak Tagalog, participated in local festivals, and even became one of the village elders. The villagers all respected him, not only for his contributions, but also for his sincere respect and learning attitude toward local culture. His 5 wives also achieved success in their respective fields. With David's support, Carmen became the regional education director. Anna completed nurse training and managed the new medical center. Isabella's artwork began exhibiting in Manila galleries. Sophia passed the bar exam and provided free legal consultation to villagers, and Gabriella completed her agricultural degree and led a sustainable development project. The success story of this cross-cultural family spread to other regions. Some anthropologists and sociologists came to study this unique family structure. David always emphasized that their success was based on mutual respect, open communication, and shared responsibility. Love has no standard pattern, David said in an interview. What matters is honesty, commitment, and respect for each other. I found here what I never had in America: a real family, purpose, and inner peace. The challenges of managing such a large, multicultural family were significant, but not insurmountable. David had to learn to navigate different cultural expectations while maintaining harmony among his wives. The sisters, despite their natural bond, occasionally disagreed on child-rearing methods or household decisions. However, Their shared commitment to family unity and David's patient mediation helped resolve conflicts quickly. Language barriers initially posed difficulties. While English was widely spoken in the Philippines, daily family life often involved Tagalog and local dialects. David immersed himself in language learning, practicing with his children who became his best teachers. The children naturally became trilingual, switching effortlessly between English, Tagalog, and the local Palawan dialect. Financial management of such a large household required careful planning. David's accounting background proved invaluable as he established budgets for education, healthcare, and individual needs while ensuring each wife felt equally provided for. He created separate savings accounts for each child's education and taught his wives modern financial planning techniques. The children's education became a central focus. David wanted them to have opportunities he never had while remaining connected to their Filipino heritage. He hired tutors for advanced subjects and arranged for cultural exchange programs. The older children showed remarkable academic promise, excelling in both American standardized tests and Filipino national examinations. Community acceptance wasn't immediate. Some traditional villagers initially viewed the arrangement with suspicion, but David's genuine respect for local customs and his family's positive contributions gradually won over skeptics. He participated in community projects, donated to local causes, and never imposed his American ways on others. The Catholic Church's stance remained complex. While the local priest had performed the ceremony, higher church authorities occasionally questioned the arrangement. David and his wives handled this sensitively, emphasizing their commitment to family values and their children's spiritual education while respecting religious concerns. Health considerations became increasingly important as David aged. Being a father in his 60s required more energy than he sometimes possessed. His wives supported him through minor health scares, and he established a comprehensive health insurance plan for the entire family. Regular medical checkups became routine, and Anna's medical knowledge proved invaluable. As the children grew older, questions about their unique family structure arose. David and his wives developed age-appropriate explanations, emphasizing love, respect, and commitment as the foundation of any family. The children grew up confident in their identity, proud of their multicultural heritage, and understanding that families could take many forms. International attention sometimes brought unwanted scrutiny. Journalists and researchers occasionally sensationalized their story, but David learned to control the narrative, focusing on cultural exchange, family values, and community development rather than the novelty of polygamy. Economic development in the region accelerated partly due to David's initiatives. His small business development program helped establish 3 successful cooperatives: a handicraft export business led by Isabella, an organic farming collective managed by Gabriella, and a medical supplies distribution network coordinated by Anna. These ventures provided employment for dozens of villagers and improved the area's economic prospects. The eldest children began considering college options. David wanted them to experience both American and Filipino higher education systems. He established college funds and began exploring scholarship opportunities. Carmen's son expressed interest in engineering, while Anna's daughter showed aptitude for medicine. The children's career aspirations reflected their bicultural upbringing, with many wanting to return to serve their community after completing their education. David's transformation from a lonely workaholic to a fulfilled family patriarch didn't go unnoticed by his American acquaintances. Former colleagues who visited were amazed by the change in his demeanor. His brother Robert, initially disapproving, became one of the family's strongest supporters after witnessing their happiness during a month-long visit. "I've never seen David this alive," Robert told friends back in Los Angeles. "These aren't the actions of a man having a midlife crisis. This is someone who found his true calling." The family established traditions blending American and Filipino customs. Christmas celebrations included both Santa Claus and traditional Filipino paroles. Thanksgiving featured turkey alongside lechon. 4th of July and Philippine Independence Day were celebrated with equal enthusiasm. These traditions helped the children appreciate both sides of their heritage. Religious observance remained important despite the unconventional family structure. The family attended Mass regularly, participated in community religious festivals, and maintained strong spiritual values. David converted to Catholicism, finding comfort in the faith that united his new community. As David approached his 70th birthday, he reflected on the dramatic transformation his life had undergone. The lonely accountant who had fled Los Angeles in desperation had become a beloved patriarch, community leader, and cultural bridge builder. His 8 children were thriving academically and socially. His 5 wives had achieved their individual dreams while maintaining family unity, and the community had prospered through their collective efforts. The success of David's multicultural family challenged conventional notions about marriage, family structure, and cultural adaptation. Social scientists studying the family noted several key factors in their success: mutual respect among family members, clear communication protocols, shared commitment to children's welfare, integration with the local community, and David's genuine embrace of Filipino culture rather than attempting to impose American values. Critics occasionally questioned the sustainability of such arrangements or raised concerns about women's rights. However, David's wives consistently demonstrated their agency, pursuing individual careers and maintaining their own identities within the family structure. They frequently spoke at women's empowerment conferences, sharing how their unique family situation had actually enhanced rather than limited their opportunities. The economic impact of the family's presence in the village was substantial. Property values increased, new businesses opened to serve the growing population, and the improved infrastructure attracted other families to relocate to the area. The village transformed from a struggling fishing community to a model of sustainable development. Educational opportunities expanded dramatically. The school David had established grew into a regional educational center, attracting students from neighboring villages. Several graduates received scholarships to universities in Manila and abroad, creating a network of educated young people committed to regional development. Healthcare improvements were equally significant. The medical center expanded its services, providing specialized care previously unavailable in rural Palawan. Anna's leadership in healthcare development earned recognition from provincial health authorities, and the center became a training facility for rural healthcare workers. Environmental conservation became another family priority. Gabriella's sustainable agriculture projects demonstrated how traditional farming methods could be enhanced with modern techniques while preserving local ecosystems. The family's organic farm became a research center for agricultural universities, contributing to broader environmental protection efforts. Tourism development proceeded carefully under the family's guidance. Rather than allowing unrestricted commercial development, they worked with local authorities to establish ecotourism guidelines that protected the area's natural beauty while providing income opportunities for residents. Isabella's art studio became a popular destination for cultural tourists interested in authentic Filipino crafts. Now, at 70 years old, David sits on his veranda overlooking the South China Sea, watching his children and grandchildren play in the garden below. The eldest child is now 20, studying at the University of the Philippines while maintaining strong connections to the village. Several children have expressed interest in studying abroad, but all plan to return and contribute to their community's continued development. His 5 wives, now in their late 30s and early 40s, have evolved from the struggling sisters he first met into confident, accomplished women who balance their roles as mothers, professionals, and community leaders. Their sisterly bond has only strengthened over the years, creating a support system that benefits not only their own children, but serves as a model for other families in the region. The transformation of David Thompson from an empty, isolated American accountant to a fulfilled patriarch of a thriving multicultural family represents more than just personal redemption. His story demonstrates the potential for radical life changes at any age, the power of cultural exchange to enrich human experience, and the infinite varieties of love and family that can flourish when approached with openness, respect, and commitment. The village where David found his new life has become a symbol of successful cultural integration and community development. Visitors come not just to see the unusual American-Filipino family, but to study the economic, social, and educational innovations that have transformed this remote corner of Palawan into a thriving, sustainable community. As the sun sets over the South China Sea each evening, David's extended family gathers for dinner around a large table that accommodates not just immediate family members, but often includes neighbors, visiting relatives, and community guests. The conversations flow in multiple languages. The food represents a fusion of American and Filipino cuisines, and the atmosphere radiates the warmth and contentment that comes from a life lived with purpose and surrounded by love. David Thompson's escape from his hollow existence in Los Angeles became a journey of discovery that enriched not only his own life, but the lives of an entire community. His story continues to inspire others who feel trapped in unfulfilling circumstances, proving that it's never too late to pursue happiness, embrace new cultures, and create meaning through service to others. In this remote Philippine village, one man's midlife crisis became a testament to the transformative power of love, the importance of community, and the endless possibilities that await those brave enough to leave everything behind in pursuit of a more authentic life.